everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 633. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
And Ari is working the mid-shift and he'll be back next week. So, Mako, it's good to see you from your sabbatical shortly. How are you?
Yeah, things are going well.
That's all we need to hear. Things are going well, you know.
Yeah.
I know. I can just picture you. You're just like, motherfucker. And you just got something you're just holding on to. You know, like you're ready to smoke. So I can tell. I can tell.
We'll put it this way. Work is a shit show.
Welcome to the shit show.
Other than that, everything else is going okay. So
fair enough. For me, work has been like, there have been some days it's been really cool, but other days chaos, you know? Like we had like our big meeting on Monday for the office, and the person that runs the New York office wanted he wanted to do the meeting like as if you're watching Good Day New York or Good Morning America or something like that. You know, chairs in the front, giant TV screen in the back with all the news and all the information. And we're talking about, I'm like, it's just a matter of time before you ask for a lower third setup. And my boss is like, don't tell him that. I'm like, oh, no. Just because I know how to put together a lower thirds, that doesn't mean I'm going to tell him how. No. I'm going to volunteer. No. If he asks me, that's a different story. So, other than that, for me, work has been pretty, how you say, decent. But I am looking forward to the weekend for besides obvious reasons. So, and see, Dabiri says, does he want a weatherman as well? It's funny you should mention that, see, Dabiri. If he really wants a weatherman, he can go to somebody in his department and pull one up for that. Yeah. For those of you who know where I work, you truly understand that little inside joke. If not, maybe I'll tell you sometime face to face. Who knows? Anywho, we are live tonight, week of May 21st, 2024, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com, and also on Twitch as well. You can find them at Twitch TV/VogNetwork. And come hang out in our Discord. It's vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel, so come through, hang out, say hi, leave some news. It's all fun stuff. So, yeah. So, before we get into our weekend day, Marco, I gotta tell you this quick story real quick. So every so often, I call into OLR, and, you know, I either discuss a topic that they brought up, or I bring something, you know, from the outside that's kind of relevant because they said something off tangent. So, and another thing is I try not to be calling every week. You know, I'll call maybe once a month or once every two, whatever. So I know it's been like a couple of months since I last called into the show. So when I called in, I think because of the shot of the angle of the webcam. Now this webcam, if you tap it, it zooms in. You can tap it 4 times to zoom all the way in and then zoom out. And I try to have it zoomed where, you know, you'll just see mostly me because no one needs to see boxes and clothes and a curtain and all that. Nobody really needs to see that. So I think that time last week when I called in, I didn't have it zoomed in all the way. I think it was just like this. For those of you who are listening, the camera angle of the webcam is zoomed out to the default where you can see the full Hotter He shirt that I'm wearing. You can see the microphone, part of the arm. You'll see more of the clothes hanging in the background. You'll see this curtain, this dark navy blue curtain back here, and my boxes. Now, if I do 1, 2, 3, it zooms in. It's more nonchalant per se. So Rob was asking about the curtains in the background, and I think I remember pulling it back, going, "Oh, I hide it so you don't have to see my little cup, my coffee pot and air fryer that's next to my little kitchen or something like that." And I'm sitting here thinking, as many times as I've called into the show, he's now just noticing the curtain, and I had thought about it. I'm like, it had to be because of the angle that. It was the viewing zoom of the webcam. That had to be it. That had to be it. So anyhow, let's get the ball rolling. Kicking things off with how was your week? How was your day? Mako, how was your week? How was your day? How was your month? And how many shots do you need?
I need all the shots.
Well,
but
you're the
yeah.
one with the Tokyo tea, so.
Yeah, no, I have watermelon water right now, so I might do the whole Tokyo tea thing this weekend.
Ah.
Yeah, but I mean it's been a thing. As I said, work has been a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that it's bad and I'm looking for a new job and all of that fun stuff because it's just that bad. Other than that, I have been, just hanging out, playing some video games, reading some smut, because, that's just what I do. I did go this past weekend to a witchy craft fair.
Yeah.
Which was kind of interesting. A lot of different, I guess, experience with the craft. There were some that had some really pretty paintings and some that just had that kind of pour off paint that looked like a 3-year-old did it. But there was one that she makes tumblers.
Yeah.
With the whole, cricut and all of that stuff. But these were not for drinking. They were for smoking.
Oh my.
So the top that she put onto it allows you to actually use it as a bong. And I'm just looking at it and going, I want one. But I didn't really like the designs that she had.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look it up because she's got a couple of them that I really would like.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
She had the designs in the cups, like the actual drinking cups.
Yeah.
No, she can make them for the other one. So
right.
I'll have to, find her online and have her, do some custom stuff for me.
Gotcha. That reminds me, I was talking to my friend Andrea about Japan Fest, and I was saying about a couple of the vendors that they have there. And a couple of them I went to, but they're only on like social media. They don't have a website or anything like that. But at least they have like a physical location you can go to. I was kind of hoping you had a website so I could find the address of the place so I could go there, But it is what it is. And speaking about cups and mugs and bongs and stuff, I keep searching for like the perfect quote unquote travel mug. Like I want like a reusable mug, like a reusable Starbucks cup. Like the disposable style. And for a while, you could get it with looks like the Starbucks logo, and it would say like Moonbucks Coffee or Sailor Moon Coffee or something like that. For a short period of time, somebody had doing it with all of the inner senshi on mugs, and the background color matched each color of the senshi. I guess they must have got hit with the C and D or something because I cannot find them anymore anywhere.
That's kind of cool.
I know. Right now, I'm using the Yohane mug that you got me for Christmas one year for for my coffee at work.
Hmm.
But I've been looking for like an actual mug with a lid on it because I go up to the 8th floor to use the Keurig because on the 7th floor we have a coffee maker, but it's more like a fancy espresso machine. It does espresso and coffee, but
Hmm.
every time you do coffee, it tastes just like espresso. So my weekend day has been pretty good. We're getting down to the part of the year where we're getting time off because of because of summer and so forth. Like we're off this week we're off as of Friday for Memorial Day, and then there's the company volunteering day, which is next week, and I'm probably going to take that day to go visit my grandparents because I am long overdue to visit them and give them their presents from Japan when I went back in December. Because the last time I was planning on going, I got sick, and I'm just like I just didn't have the energy to leave the house. So,
Mm.
and there's that. And the quest for a new apartment continues, which is why you see these boxes back here. And I've been at a bust every single time. Like Saturday, I went to this one place. It was a 2-bedroom on a second floor walk up. The bedrooms were 6 by 9. And I asked a friend
Tiny.
if say what?
That's tiny.
I know. I asked a friend if they were interested, and they also agreed it was tiny. And I said, you know what? I should take that apartment because I could turn one bedroom into my regular bedroom and have my TV in there, and turn the other bedroom into like a studio or something like that. And I'm sitting there thinking about it. So I'm like, all right, Monday I'll follow up. I get a text from the guy saying they're not going to go forward with my application. And I'm just like, I don't really remember filling out an application. And I realize it's the basic stuff that they ask you, like your income, when do you want to move, your credit score, that type of stuff. I'm like, really? So, there is that. Then Sunday, I went to this other place, which is, again, it's about, I'd say maybe about 20, 30 minutes from where I live now by bus. And the place, honestly, was a total shithole. I mean, I walked into the kitchen and it was like caked on grease on the doors and the fridge. There was a small hole in the roof, in the ceiling. And the guy tells me they're going to do some maintenance. They're going to put in a fresh coat of paint and so forth. Now, the bedroom itself is kind of huge. It was basically like 9 by 12. And so was the living room. So I'm like, this is perfect. I could put in a couch right here, and have like a walkway pass through. That would be perfect. But then I went to go check for internet. I can't get Fios in that building. And I'm just like, I don't know if I could deal with that. And then, like I said, and I asked about the appliances, which is the fridge. They're like, they'll only replace the fridge if it's not working. Other than that, they'll repair it. The fridge has been unplugged and it has not been cleaned.
Ew.
I mean, thankfully, I had my mask on. I opened the fridge and I was just like, oh, and closed it right back up. Honestly, if they were willing to replace the fridge and give the kitchen a scrub down, I would have seriously considered it. That and the rent in that place was rent controlled, and it was $400 cheaper than what they were asking. But even though it's a fourth floor walk up, I'm kind of used to that because my mother used to live in a building with a fourth floor walk up. And for the most part, I didn't mind the stairs, but there's other people I would eventually invite over that would have issues going up 4 flights of stairs. So I had to be considered. I'm just being considerate of other people.
Mm.
The second floor one is just one set. That's not bad. That's not an issue. I'm going to keep tabs on that place. If it goes back up, I'm going to reach out to that landlord and be like, I see it's back on the market. I'll take it. We'll see.
Hmm.
Hopefully. And I know the guy next door is going to ask about my search, and he's going to probably give me grief about still being here, but I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? you could come in the house and see that I've packed up stuff. I just stopped packing because I legitimately ran out of room. I've actually turned one of my boxes sideways to see how it looks if I were to pack another box. So I'm thinking if I turn those boxes sideways, I can make room for 3 more boxes and still make my way over to the damn closet to grab things. Actually, what I might end up doing is I have empty boxes behind me. I might move those and move all the stuff that I've packed up over so I can kind of organize and get more stuff done. But then again, the bookshelf behind me still has a stack of DVDs down there, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to try digging those out, but I'll figure something out since I have like Friday off before I go out. And I'm visiting my sister up in Westchester Saturday because her desktop needs to be fixed. My nephew's laptop needs to be fixed, and he's asking me all these tech questions. I'm just like, half of these questions you're asking me, you will never need to know. But anywho, enough about that. Let's move on. Let's move on here. Want to give you a little bit of housekeeping here. And I've seen a couple of people talk about CloverCon. I think it might have been just this Sunday. Good things. Well, maybe we'll be back next year. So anywho, want to let you know that episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. Episodes are available Thursdays at 12 p.m. So that's perfect for those who if you don't have a Twitch subscription or you want to check out much older episodes that are not available in the archive, you can definitely head over there and check those out. And don't forget, our next convention of the year is Shenanigans. It's a 21 plus anime convention right out there in Jersey, Parsippany, New Jersey. It's at the Hilton Parsippany. It's June 22nd to the 23rd. And I forgot to put this down. New Jersey. It'll be me, Ari, and Cinnanite. We'll be hanging out, having good times. And if you bribe her enough, Mako might make a cameo appearance. And what's your starting number?
Let's go with $200.
All right, I figured you go higher. So if you bribe Mako-chan with $200, she will come to the con. All right, enough about that. We're going to get into our next topic, Geek Roundtable. This is where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our lives and what we've been up to. So I see you have a con mascot on your screen there, Mako.
I do have a con mascot on my screen here. So continuing on with things that I got from Zenkai Con.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I actually went into Zenkai Con knowing that I was going to get is this little fucker. This is Octavia. This is the mascot for Zenkai Con, and this year they decided that they were going to do plushies to sell at the convention table along with all of the t-shirts and other things. So yeah, I have myself a little octo plush.
Nice. The thing is, how long has Zenkai Con had an octopus as their mascot?
A little while now.
Yeah, because I noticed it a couple of years back. I was like, wait, what? Because AAC, another anime convention, they also have an octopus as their mascot. I wonder if they're distant cousins. I should post that on my Facebook page and see if either convention will respond to that. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't remember when the octopus came into it. I know it's been a couple of years though, but there was a specific convention where the octopus was drawn into certain art, and then the octopus ended up staying.
I'm all about that. That's pretty cool. All right, so I shouldn't be making these purchases, but I have Tom points stacked up. I had a birthday discount, and the figurines I bought were on sale, save 10% on those. And I bought 4 figurines.
Oh
And
my god.
I paid, look, after the discount and my points, I only paid $90.
Okay, that's not bad for 4 of them.
Yeah, for shipping and all of that. $90. So basically, like 20, 20. I can't math right now. About $22 and $22.50 per figure, something like that. Yeah, there we go. $22.50 per figure. That's basically what it was. Because again, after spending all that money and buying all that stuff in Japan, I am very wary about buying stuff at conventions now. I do understand vendors got to make their money, but there's a difference between making a profit and price gouging. Just saying. Like a friend of mine, she picked up a glitter and glamour Uranus and Neptune. She got them for $30 each, and I think that is a great price. 40, okay. 45, anything over 45, I'd go to another event. I'd go to another table. So, anywho, there is an anime I watched earlier this year, last year, called Spy Classroom. Basically, the world's best spy lost his entire team, and he ends up being tasked to train a bunch of washouts as a new team, and they do missions and so forth. And he actually tells them, if you can beat me as a spy, you can leave. It's really good. The time period is pretty similar to Spy Family, but I think it's a little bit closer to the World War II era, whereas Spy Family is, I think, it's closer to the 60s era or something like that. And it's really good. So there are a couple of characters on the show that I am fans of, and one of them is Thea. What's interesting is each character has a skill set that they have to use, that they learn, and Thea's skill set is seduction. And there are episodes where she tries to, she's like, I don't know why it's not working until. And with each episode is like the episode, the characters get like that shining moment where they're like, that's why it's not, and it goes into full force. Actually, what? Whoops. I grabbed the Thea one, put it right next to me, end up grabbing the wrong damn figure. Yep. And normally what I do is I take my time cutting the bubble wrap off, because I'll cut all the tape off and reuse it, because I'm always finding myself shipping stuff out that and I'm like, well, I have the wrapping paper, so I have bubble wrap, so I might as well reuse it. So here is Glitter and Glamour Thea from Spy Classroom. The anime is also called Spy Room, but on High Dive, it's called Spy Classroom. There is another character on the show. Her name escapes me at the moment, but I also have one of her figures on pre-order, like not on pre-order, but in wish list mode. So I will eventually be pulling the trigger on that in a couple of months. So I will say this. There was a point where I was basically buying figures off Otaku Mode like every single month. Now it's like every other month, because I'm watching for the sales and the deals. And sometimes I will find it on Amazon for the same price with free shipping, because some of them are coming directly from Japan. So, which I think is kind of cool. All right. So let's kick things off. Mako, you want to take the first story?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, let me just get everything loaded. All right, so it seems that Crunchyroll might be in a little bit of hot water.
Not the first time, sure as hell won't be the last.
So there was a recent post on a publication that represents feminism and minority in the anime and Japanese anime culture sphere. They posted a title called Crunchyroll Fails to Meet Industry Standards for Closed Captioning. So the highlights basically go over several concerns about Crunchyroll, which, after all the mergers and everything, is now North America's biggest anime-oriented streaming service. So it goes on to argue that most of the streaming platforms' English dubs lack closed captioning, despite the majority of Funimation's titles having them prior to the merger. Before it goes on to also reveal the concerning testimony of a person purporting to be a former longtime Crunchyroll staffer.
Right.
Speaking anonymously, the staffer claimed that Crunchyroll routinely dismissed their concerns over accessibility, saying it would set a precedent and require too much work to close caption all of its other titles. While a Funimation customer representative and the anonymous staffer suggest that licensing restrictions may prevent the closed captioning of some anime, the staffer says their concerns were again dismissed in the case of the Onyx Equinox, which Crunchyroll self-produced. As of May 20th, the series seemingly still lacks closed captioning or even subtitles for multiple dubs. When the staffer also cautioned Crunchyroll over a possible failure of a legal obligation to provide subtitles for the Spanish dub, they received the response, "Only lawyers should worry about legal concerns," from a then vice president. So it was attempted to reach out to Crunchyroll. They did respond saying they promised to return with some answers, but unfortunately there were no other responses from them by the time everything was written up. So there was no response to a follow-up email in the interim. Important questions that were aimed at understanding Crunchyroll's view on closed captioning provisions also remain unanswered. So many of Crunchyroll's home media releases do have closed captioning, but it is difficult to try and figure out if that is due to Crunchyroll or due to licensing, and then the percentages of, just completely lacking in closed captioning. And then given that Crunchyroll has previously stated that closed captions are a priority, questions are also sought to understand the extent of restrictions on porting closed captioning anime titles from Funimation. So basically, there is quite a bit of issue with things not being, closed captions. And with everything going on, it's a necessity. It's not a luxury. There are people out there that are unable to hear or unable to hear well enough to just be able to watch a TV series. On top of that, there are people that just enjoy having the closed captions on because, of, various other reasons.
Right.
So it's a little weird that something like this isn't attempting to fix those points. So it's weird that Crunchyroll isn't seemingly doing anything about it.
Well, one thing is for sure. Since Crunchyroll is not an actual network you can watch on cable or satellite, that's one way they can kind of sketch around it. That's one way. Another thing,
I don't know about that, because if you are paying for a product, they should still be then, as they are selling a product to you, they should have to live up to standards.
I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
Now, this is another thing they're probably getting away with. There is no need for captionings because they could just watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. I know it's not the same thing, but there is somebody probably back there saying, same diff.
Not really.
Like I said, I know it's not the same thing. Somebody's probably saying, same diff. Now, here's the thing. I know people who watch stuff with captions and subtitles with English dub. The captions part bothers the hell out of me, only because of sometimes how big the text with the black lettering is, and you're missing out on a lot of what's going on. That would be my main issue. But for the most part, if I'm with somebody who I deal with it, and if I really like what I'm watching, I'll go back and watch it without it. Now, what's interesting is High Dive. I think Crunchyroll has it now. High Dive, along with Amazon, has the option of you can adjust the fonts and make it look like it's captioning. Now, I have High Dive on my Fire Stick. If I watch something subtitled, and I think it works with the English, it comes up as in the caption style, which is kind of interesting. I think one time we saw it we were watching it on High Dive at your house, and it did that.
Potentially.
Yeah. See, I think that's where it is. It's like there's only because there are subtitles. Yes, you have subtitles for people who can watch it, but not everybody who wants to watch anime wants to watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. There are some people who want to watch the English dub with the subtitles. But let's not forget, because this shit happened with Squid Game because people are fucking stupid. They were complaining about the fact that the subtitles were not matching up with the dub. There are so many series on Netflix that's the same way. You finally, after all this time, now you complain about it. But thankfully, there is a caption mode, There is that. Now,
well, closed captioning is more than just subtitles.
Yeah, I know. There's also has, like, if there's music, you'll see the caption of music playing and stuff like that. Yeah, that I get.
If there's something that is supposed to be emotional, that pops up. If somebody's crying, that pops up. It doesn't happen in subtitles.
Right.
So, I mean, something like that to try and, you can't just say, oh, well, they have subtitles.
And you're right.
I mean,
I'm just saying somebody in the C-suite is saying that.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like kind of what Crunchyroll is doing. It's like, oh, well, they already have subtitles for a lot of these, so they can just use subtitles. It's like, that's really not enough.
And don't forget,
if you have that you can't hear, but not only that, it's good for people that, also might not understand the social cues. So, it helps to, I guess, allow them to read and process instead of just viewing. So it does help out more than just, the people that can't hear it. Like, I know that my cousin tends to watch with subtitles because she can, I guess, be hyper focused because she has ADHD. So she can be hyper focused and still be able to like one thing registers if she reads it.
Right.
It registers audio wise to help her to actually, be on what she's watching instead of having her mind drift.
Yeah, like also, if I'm at somebody's house and I gotta keep the volume low, depending on how low the volume has to be, I will turn the captions on, so at least I have a general idea of what's going on. And thankfully, even if you're watching something through a console, you can always grab the controller and plug a set of headphones in and just rock and roll.
Yeah. So I mean, Crunchyroll definitely needs to step up. They need to do better. Why they got rid of just a whole bunch of crap from Funimation is weird too.
And I think that falls under licensing. People are thinking, oh, Funimation is not going to. It's more of a licensing thing. I think either A, they're still negotiating the license, or B, the license holders don't want it streaming or something like that.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I don't understand how closed captioning can be affected by licensing.
Mm.
If
Oh,
you
that.
have permission to show an anime and you have permission to show that anime in an English dub and Japanese with subtitles, what does licensing have to do with being closed captioned then?
Maybe this goes back to what I said earlier about, if you know, when you look at like when you watch something captioned, it can sometimes it can take up to either a third to half of the screen, and maybe it takes away from the anime or what's going on in the background. That could be it. And I'll also say I'm probably grasping at straws with that excuse. But I want y'all to think about something. Look at all these companies out there that's giving you bullshit excuses about everything. What I said is probably chalks right up there, and would not surprise me if that was the case.
Mm.
Yeah. But again, Amazon has it available. High Dive has it. You know, I believe High Dive has it. But come on, like I also remember Crunchyroll is also run by a bunch of nerds that was putting out fan subbed anime. This does not surprise me in the least. It really doesn't.
That's true.
All right. Our next story. Oh wait, hold on. I think I went back one too many. There we go. There we go. Come on, refresh for me. Yeah, yeah. Now, I remember talking about one particular series on this list. It was going to happen, but I just didn't know when, but it was going to. Now, in case you have not heard, Toonami is bringing back a retro block of anime. And what we're going to get is Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and Naruto. Starting May 31st, we are getting the Viz dub of Sailor Moon, and there are angry Gen Xers and millennials who are pissed that they're not showing the Deke dub, which is its own little universe. And
Yeah, that they don't have licensing for anymore.
There is, you can't license something that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Like I said, there are ways to find it, but you know, that's just about it. And I'll say this. I if it wasn't for the Deke dub of Sailor Moon, I probably wouldn't know Mako, Ari, or a bunch of people at conventions. Because that was, for a lot of us, a starting ground. But we also understand it was heavily edited, and and we can have access to the full 200 episodes now. Some of y'all are looking at it through nostalgic eyes, and you need to get real. And also, I'm sick and tired of some of y'all posting on these Sailor Moon groups talking about, oh, you bought the entire box set of Sailor Moon with the Viz dub and the subtitles for like $100. Y'all need to stop that. Anywho. And saying, oh, I'm short on, it's not an excuse. Save your money like everybody else. Come on. It's just a matter of time before somebody shows up, if it hasn't happened already, somebody shows up at a con with a bootleg box set to get it autographed, you know? Anywho, get back to the topic at hand here. We're going to get, like I said, a retro rewind block. Starting May 31st, every Friday from 5 to 7, you're going to get Sailor Moon, 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai, and Naruto. Well, as much as they run Dragon Ball Z on syndication and so forth, I don't mind them showing Dragon Ball Z Kai. I don't mind that.
I am hoping that this does well enough that they are able to get the licensing back for some of the other older shows that used to be on there. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of the different Gundam series.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing Outlaw Star again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are also a lot of anime series that have come to the States after the fact that are technically retro and could be shoved on there too.
Yeah, I think. Well, I do know a lot of it was due to the fact that there are people who worked at Cartoon Network that was salty over the fact that anime was doing better than the original series, which was holding some of it back. And hopefully, those people are long gone.
I don't know about anything like that, but they can bitch all they want when, at some points during during the week, it is nothing but, 80% Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you kidding me? You're just gonna run that into the ground because A, you don't want anime. B, you don't want to pay for something because you can play that for whatever you want to. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Now, I will say this.
If that's how you're gonna treat the channel now, you might as well just fucking end the channel.
Yeah. I will say this much. When it comes to the original content, I did like Tom Goes to the Mayor. That was good. Tim and Eric Awesome Show was a shitty show on Adult Swim that no. That's my hill and I'm dying on it. Anywho, the Toonami Rewind not only marks the over 2-decade return of Sailor Moon to Cartoon Network, but like I said, we're getting the English dub produced by Viz Media. Despite its popularity contributing to the 90s anime boom in North America, the previous DeK dub was infamous for its Americanization that typically removed references to death in Japanese culture, and it was like watching Clueless, okay? Let's be real. The DeK Sailor Moon was basically Magical Girl Clueless, okay? Cloverway, the former international branch of Toei that took over Sailor Moon's dubbing from DeK, also became infamous for censoring the same-sex relationship between Neptune and Uranus, turning them into cousins. So yeah, we now have the redneck edit of Sailor Moon S, and from time to time, I see a couple cosplay Uranus and Neptune. They have shirts that says "We're not cousins" or "Kissing cousins." God bless y'all.
Hi, Ari.
And Ari has joined us from the chat from work. The new dub of Sailor Moon by Viz removes all the controversial Americanizations for a more accurate translation of the anime. Stephanie Sheh, well known as the English voice actor for Hinata Hyuga in Naruto and Orihime Inoue in Bleach, is the voice of Sailor Moon in the dub, who goes by the name of Usagi Tsukino, not Serena. There are 5 seasons of the original series, totaling 200 episodes. Despite its age, the Sailor Moon franchise continues to grow with new merchandise, stage plays, and new anime series and movies. And by new anime series, we're talking about Sailor Moon Crystal, Sailor Moon Eternal, the Eternal Move, and we're still waiting on Cosmos. Sometime today, Netflix, sometime today, clock's fucking ticking.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how people are just going online, just importing it. I mean, that's cool and all. But I want to support the American voice actors. That's just me. Now, if you don't want to wait until May 31st to follow Sailor Moon, you can watch it right now on Hulu, Pluto, and Crunchyroll. Sailor Moon Crystal you can get on Crunchyroll and Netflix. And the manga you can pick up at your local participating bookstores. I kind of missed the time when Netflix would put their original content out on DVD. I think the last thing that was quote unquote original by Netflix that I own on DVD is all of Voltron Legendary Defender. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, in the event that I actually I don't have Netflix anymore, I want to have this series, a physical copy of the series. It is what it is. Now, the next story that's coming up that Mako's going to take, this has been chatter on between weebs on social media for weeks and months. And when
Yeah.
and when this happened, people y'all lost y'all popped your tops.
I freaking want all of them.
Of course you do.
Yeah. So this started in Japan. It was released. Sanrio's Hello Kitty and Friends went to McDonald's and dressed up as Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Then it went to a couple of other countries, and then it went to Canada. And we here in the United States were going, where is our kitty? Well, they finally said, here is your fucking cat. So at some point this summer, Hello Kitty and Friends will be in Happy Meals at McDonald's. There will be 10 different characters, I believe, and they will all be dressed up as
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh monsters.
That's all 10 characters. Yep.
So, via Licensing International, Sanrio announced that it is going to be a worldwide expansion for the collaboration. So the collaboration now will come to 55 countries worldwide, including the United States. The official listing of the toys are as follows: Hello Kitty as the Dark Magician, Cinnamoroll as Blue Eyes White Dragon, Bats Maru as Red Eyes Black Dragon, Pum Pum Purin as Exodia the Forbidden One, My Melody as Dark Magician Girl, Karopi as Koribo, Pochiko as Time Wizard, Kuromi as Slifer the Sky Dragon, Tuxedo Sam as Obelisk the Tormentor, and Choco Cat as the Winged Dragon of Ra. So, yeah. I'm really, really freaking excited about this. And I need to get all of them.
Now, are you just going to buy the toys or are you going to get the Happy Meal?
I will probably get a Happy Meal and then just buy whatever toys aren't in that particular Happy Meal.
Seems legit. This reminds me of the time years ago when there were the My Little Pony Happy Meals, and here is Princess Twilight Sparkle I'm holding here up on the screen, and I could tell you for about 3 weeks I traversed many McDonald's and bought these toys, and don't worry, people paid me back. And I was kind of working, I guess, not really full-time hours, so I needed something to do, plus make a little bit extra scratch, so that's what I did. I believe I still have I have a whole set and bagged up somewhere in my closet. Granted, the value of them haven't gone up on eBay, but I just like having them as a collector's value. And I think somewhere in that closet is a bag of DDR toys as well. I don't remember. Anywho, our next story, I think I had heard about this, but I wasn't sure. I think we might have talked about this briefly. We're getting a Terminator anime, and I'm just like, oh,
It's not the next one.
oh, wait, hold on. Did I skip one?
Yeah, I mean, you can
Oh,
do.
wait. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what I did. I accidentally skipped one, so we're gonna go. So you'll take that one. Sorry about that.
I'll take what one?
The Terminator one. I'll talk about Shin Chan.
Okay.
All right. Refresh the page, and we're gonna talk about Precure and Shin Chan. Now, let me tell you, one of the cool things as a kid when you watch various TV shows, you always hope that maybe a cameo appearance from one character show up in another show. This happened sparingly. Like it happened with Family Matters and Step by Step. I think it happened with Perfect Strangers in another show. I know it was like an insider joke between Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Growing Pains, but it's happened, and even with like some of the Nickelodeon TV shows, that kind of happened as well. But what's really cool is it's actually happening with an anime, and sometimes this actually happens with some American cartoons. So basically, what I'm about to tell y'all here is that Precure is crossing over with Crayon Shin Chan. Chalked it up as a crossover. I never expected to happen. So in case you didn't know, Shin Chan is among the most iconic and longest running family anime in Japan, having been on the air since 1992. Think of Shin Chan as Japanese Bart Simpson. That's what a lot of people compare them to. And in those 3 decades, the series has had a handful of crossovers with other animes. Now, what's up on this list is Wonderful Precure. The preview for the May 18th episode, which happened a few days ago, of Crayon Shin Chan and the Wonderful Precure anime Twitter account announced the crossover. Wonderful Precure protagonist Komugi Inukai and Iroha Inukai will appear in the May 18th episode of Crayon Shin Chan, and Shinosuke Shinchan Nohara and his dog Shiro will appear in the May 19th episode of Wonderful Precure. In the Shin-chan episode preview that's available on YouTube, unfortunately it's not in this country unless you use a VPN, Shin-chan and his dog Shiro transform into Precure to fight a Garu monster from Wonderful Precure. In turn, Wonderful Precure preview talks about making a wish to Kagamishi, a natural boulder formation with a flat surface. While Shin-chan and Shiro aren't in the most of the preview, they are seen ever so briefly at the end. Unfortunately, the Shin-chan preview is region locked to Japan, like I said. If you want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube, but it'll be locked, so you're going to have to need a VPN to check it out. Surprisingly, this is not the first time Shin-chan has crossed over with Magical Girl, which is something I didn't even know. While they did not appear as their Shin-chan characters, Akiko Yajima, the voice of Shin-chan at the time, and Miki Narahashi, the voice of Shin-chan's Misae, made cameo appearance in the 15th episode of Sailor Moon S. In the cameo scene, Sailor Moon's character Chibi Yusa is waiting for her fated person. After a Dolda Chin-chan is thrown at Chibi Yusa's direction, a handsome-looking boy appears in front of her. Despite looking handsome, the boy has the mannerisms of Shin-chan, and we're not talking about modern Shin-chan. We're talking about the early and crash Shin-chan where he take off his pants and do the elephant dance. Okay, I know which episode that is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not realize they tamed Shin-chan over the years.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch Steven Universe and at first you just want to grab this kid and just slam him into a wall. And
yeah,
now,
pretty much.
Yeah, and now he's like, "You've matured, my son." Huh? While the boy is traumatizing Chibiusa, the boy's mother smacks him on the head and tells him to cut it out before dragging him off. The last voice clip we hear between Yajima and Narahashi is the boy accusing the mother of being a Yoma, which is the villains in Sailor Moon S, and the mother taking umbrage to that and smacking him once again. While the scene from Sailor Moon S is funny, the comedy hasn't aged well. Seeing Chibiusa essentially assaulted is uncomfortable to watch. That all depends on who you talk to. There are people to this day do not like, as they call, the pink terror. I look forward to seeing that happen. The crossover is still an iconic moment in both animes. So Crayon Shin Chan is no stranger to crossovers with the Magical Girl anime, but the upcoming Precure crossover seems to lean on the tamer side. While watching the May 18th episode of Shin Chan may be difficult for international audiences, episodes of Wonderful Precure are available on Crunchyroll. So if you're a fan of both animes, check it out. That's cool.
Yeah, I like when things like that happen and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some times when it happens and it's just like, what? Okay.
I'm gonna save that article for later. Something I want to read about. All right, so now we're gonna get into the Terminator anime.
Yeah, so I know that when it was first, devised, it
Mm-hmm.
did, we did talk about it when they first announced that they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have dates,
Yeah.
and they are starting to release photos of, various characters.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so Netflix revealed last Wednesday that the anime Terminator Zero, which obviously is based on the Terminator film franchise,
Mm-hmm.
will premiere worldwide on the service on August 29th.
Hmm.
So it is an 8-episode series that will be part of the Terminator universe, but it centers around new characters. Netflix is describing the story as the year 2022, a future war has raged for decades between the few human survivors and an endless army of machines. 1997, the AI known as Skynet gained self awareness and began its war against humanity. Caught between the future and this past is a soldier sent back in time to change the fate of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
She arrives in 1997 to protect a scientist named Malcolm Lee, who works to launch a new AI system designed to compete with Skynet's impending attack on humanity. As Malcolm navigates the moral complexities of his creation, he is hunted by an unrelenting assassin from the future, which forever alters the fate of his 3 children. So this was first ordered as a series in 2021. A teaser was revealed in November. The rights holders of the Terminator franchise had planned a Terminator collection of animated shorts created by leading European and Japanese auteurs in 2008, but the project was not released in the following year as planned. Termination would have focused on Judgment Day, the pivotal day that the Terminator franchise's multiple storylines when the Skynet defense system would launch nuclear weapons that destroy much of humanity. Iconic T-800 robot is a time-traveling weapon of Skynet, and it has been both the antagonist and protagonist in the various Terminator projects since the first film in 1984. The T-800 did make an official authorized cameo in the long-running Doraemon television anime series in June of 2009. The Doraemon anime's title character is a time-traveling robot cat from the future, and the dream matchup was described in the Japanese press as a confrontation between America and Japan's robots. And it was, I guess, coinciding with Terminator Salvation film, which opened in Japan on June 13th, 2 weeks before the promotional cameo.
I think the last Terminator movie I saw was the third one, Rise of the Machines, and that was it. I only owned the second one on DVD because that was the best one.
Yeah, I know that the last one was Skynet, I think, or the one before it was Skynet. And, you find out that Doctor Who is fucking Skynet, but whatever.
What do you mean Doctor Who is Skynet?
Matt Smith plays Skynet.
Well, shit. My first thought was David Tennant, but...
No, Matt Smith. And from what I hear, he has definitely upped his acting chops while doing it. Which was always my issue with him as the Doctor, is that he wasn't fleshed out enough as an actor for me to really enjoy him, and then I didn't like any of his companions, so...
seems all right. I totally get that. And now we're getting to our last story of the night, which is a bit of a feel good story. And for some of us, it's like, oh God, we're getting an old story. We're talking about Summer Wars, a classic anime movie. It's being re released in theaters for its 15th anniversary. And some of you are going, damn, I'm old. Ain't the only one. So, the revival screening project, sponsored by Filmarks, one of the largest film, drama, and anime review services in Japan, will screen Mamoru Hosoda's 2009 feature film Summer Wars. That marks the 15th anniversary of the theatrical release of that for this year for a limited time of 2 weeks in 126 theaters across Japan starting July 26, 2024. Following the critically acclaimed The Girl Who Leapt Through Time in 2006 as Hosoda's first original feature film, Summer Wars released in Japan on August 1st of 2009. This 2-week screening period includes 2 anniversaries, August 1st, the film's first release date in Japan, and the birthday of the heroine Natsuki's great-grandmother Sakae Jinochi. A number of plans are being prepared for the screening, including the distribution of original bonus items for theatergoers and other activities that will celebrate the memorable 15th anniversary. And we're going to hear more about that in the upcoming weeks. And that's kind of cool. You know, I've never seen Summer Wars, but I've seen cosplays of it.
I have seen it a couple of times when it first came out, but it was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting.
I think it's on Crunchyroll or Funimation, which is Crunchyroll. So I might add that to my list of movies to watch. I realize there's a bunch of anime films I need to actually sit down and watch. All right, now that we got that out the way, y'all here for the part of the show y'all really stuck around for. Meanwhile, in Japan. Okay, let's take a look at this. And as always, Mako gets she is player's choice.
Damn.
You're trying to decide between 1 and 2, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why not both?
I'll just do the first one.
Okay. The second one, I don't know. I picture you and Rob from Ab Fab with the box. Okay. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. In Japan, weddings are in 3 stages. First, there's the shiki, or the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
This is followed by the hiroin, or reception, often held at a hotel or banquet hall. Finally, since wedding reception venues in Japan typically only rent out the hall for 2 or 3 hours, there is the Nijikai, which translates to second party, where more celebrating takes place at a different location. The reception tends to be a formal affair, with family members and professional colleagues included among the guests.
Mm-hmm.
The Nijikai, though, is usually just for close friends and personal acquaintances, and sometimes might not even take place on the same day as the ceremony and reception. This can put guests in a quandary as to what to wear, though, since it's not always clear if the Nijikai is going to be as formal a gathering as the reception. So, a Twitter user, Koroboshi, his friend recently got married and invited him to the Nijikai, and he included the helpful instruction to please wear a suit. So Koroboshi wore a suit, a mobile Gundam suit.
And I think this background track is quite apropos right now.
So he showed up dressed head to toe in cosplay of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, the RX-78-2, with a name card hanging around his neck so that people would know who he was. Yeah, so needless to say, his choice of attire has been getting several surprised comments online, including properly dressed up. That's one serious suit. Both a suit and also not a suit. Hey, you forgot your necktie. You could say that the Gundam itself is naked. Love how the people in the background are just acting like this is completely normal. But you see, it kind of is. Because the newlywed couple is Ryu and Ruby, who prior to getting married represented Japan at the 2019 World Cosplay Summit.
Wow. Okay. That's
was
cool.
far from the only one who attended the celebration in costume. To the point that at some point during it, the Gundam was able to face off against an EVA Unit 1. Ryu himself even replied to Kuroboshi's tweet saying, "I was super happy to have Gundam at the party," and thanking Kuroboshi for going to all the trouble of transporting the elaborate outfit all the way to the venue. Yeah, so obviously, go with what the people you are, obviously going to the wedding want you to, but this is my kind of wedding party.
Exactly. Now, for those of you who were paying attention while Mako-chan was telling the story, I played the theme from Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, not the earliest Gundam anime. You have to understand something. The majority of the people that work on Anime Jam Session are Gundam Wing fans. So kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as Bat Duo flies across the skies. All right, I'm going to do the last story because I can kind of relate to this in a way, but I never came across any issues regarding this. And it's about translation errors for foreign tourists. And it seems that there was a Kyoto study done where they found nearly 500 translation errors for foreign tourists, and a new guideline was released. Okay. Kyoto has always been among Japan's top tourism destinations, and with Japan receiving more foreign travelers than it has before, the same goes for its former capital. But with record-breaking numbers of overseas visitors coming into Kyoto, there's an increased need for multilingual guidance signage, and guidance. A recent study has found less than stellar quality the translations being provided to Kyoto's guests from abroad. Between December and February, the Kyoto City Tourism Association investigated non-Japanese signs, written notices, and audio announcements at 50 locations within the city, including train stations, hotels, restaurants, museums, temples, and shrines. Out of the 3,600 items examined, 499 were found to be incorrectly or inaccurately translated. A greater than 10% chance of foreign travelers not being able to understand the intended messages is too high for the association's liking. Coming as inbound international travelers are returning to Kyoto, said association spokesperson Yuya Iwasaki. These mistranslations could potentially damage the Kyoto brand. In response, the association has enacted a number of initiatives, including seminars for tourism and tourism-adjacent businesses on how to effectively communicate necessary information and rules to visitors who can't speak or read or speak Japanese. Last month, the organization also released a 49-page foreign language signage guideline packet, available for free from the website. Take a look here. Yeah. Right off the bat, the guidelines caught against an over-reliance of machine AI translation. Like, there is a translation here of kanji. No, there's kanji here, and underneath it says the current time is not available. As a direct translation of Japanese text. The current time is unavailable is all right, but it's still not something that makes much sense in English. If you ride the subways in New York City, it makes damn good sense to us. In Japanese, it's common to omit the subject and object of a sentence, of a clause, if it can be understood from context. So the Japanese text is really saying you cannot use this thing at the current time. So the Kyoto City Tourism Guideline Packman recommends this translation instead. So, same kanji, but one word. Close. The all caps for close might look a little harsh, but the guidelines do later go on to stress the importance of making sure not to strip away the polite tone of in Japanese text when translating it. Another one, in kanji, and it translates to wait your turn. The proper way is to say, please wait to be seated. Okay. The guidelines also include visual design points such as recommending and complementing text with pictograms, making sure that foreign language text is adequately sized to be noticeable, and grouping each language text together in its own section of signage. Like there is kanji for no smoking, but English no smoking is in small text. And the other sign on the right side, which is the correct one, it says in large print, no smoking. And to go back to refer back to what I said about the time is not available and so forth, Bonds006 in our chat room says at twitch.tv/anime jam session, LOL, our NYC mass transit time is its own time system. One will have to reside here to understand how to use it. So yeah, even if these signs, when I was in Japan, if the signs in Kyoto were being rude, I paid it no mind because it didn't mean much. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Okay, you know, I wasn't offended. Another sign where it says in kanji and underneath it says information of the exits, and below it tells you where the locations of the exits with more kanji. And the proper way to do it is all the kanji is at the top of the sign, and the English translation in the same kind of like format of like bold and non-bold is underneath it. That's cool. It's worth keeping in mind that though the study that discovered the translation errors was carried out by the Kyoto City Tourism Association, locations where the errors were found are not necessarily administered by the municipal government. In the post-pandemic travel boom, more than a few restaurants, temples, and other places that previously had only limited levels of interest from overseas travelers have suddenly found themselves becoming major tourist draws. And some inaccurate signage was likely put in place with the attitude of, we really need to put up something right away and we don't have that translation on staff. So just Google Translate it and we'll sort out the details later. The study was also not limited to English translations, and the more languages involved, the greater the chance for a translation slip-up. There is, as always, an argument to be made that it's travelers' responsibilities to study up and acquaint themselves on norms of public behavior and basic phrases in the language of a foreign country that they plan to visit. At the same time, with Japanese inbound travel boom not likely to cool off anytime soon, and breaches of etiquette by foreign tourists drawing increasing attention and annoyance from the local population, clear communication itself can only be a good thing. So hopefully the Kyoto City Tourism Association efforts will prove effective. Again, when traveling to Japan, be mindful of the signs, try to understand some basic Japanese, and they will work with you with English, and Google Translator is your friend. I'm in a way I'm kind of looking forward to my trip back. Once this whole apartment thing settles down, I get some type of stability with that. I'm gonna start brushing up on my Japanese so I can do things a little bit better. So we'll see how that goes. And what do you know? We've made it to the end with time to spare.
Da, 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 da.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and get up on out of here. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. The intern will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're going to tell you straight up. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you will find anime reviews, editorials, convention reports, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, downloads, other cool stuff, all that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And if you're enjoying the podcast, listen to some of our older episodes. Podcasts are available right after the show. So check it out in about an hour or so. And you can find our podcast on Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also Yahoo, YouTube Music. Why am I going to say Yahoo Music? What the hell? All right. Evidently in Japan, Yahoo is a big thing. It kind of surprised me again seeing Yahoo Hotels and Yahoo Mobile. That was kind of cool. Anywho, follow us on our social media pages, Anime Jam Session at YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us on those so you can check out our episodes, convention videos, cosplay photos, when we're going live, articles, all that and so much more. And to everybody who follows us on those pages, thank you so much. We could not do this without y'all. We love and appreciate the love and respect that you throw our way. Bring the screen back up. And if you're watching live, we have a tip jar down below. You can click on our Stream Elements, our Streamlab, or Ko-Fi if you want to throw some cash money at us. We appreciate that. You can also donate. You can also cheer us on with some bits. We love that too. And don't forget, sub to the channel. Channel subscriptions. Give one out or share it. We really appreciate that. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am looking forward to having 3 days off in a row.
My last words. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that and then some, and celebrating my birthday, I suppose. It's not like I gotta get up early anyway, so. Yeah.
That is true. Your birthday is this week.
Yup, Friday. And it's funny, I will not be at work for people to walk up to my desk and wish me a happy birthday. But there will be birthday cupcakes and cookies and stuff, so there's that.
Nice.
Okay. So that is it. End of list. We're going to get up on out of here because Mako needs her sleep and I need to edit the show. So, I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Awesome, sweet. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!